Quite a lot has happened in Borderlands 3 while we wait for that new Borderlands show that will finally reveal the Guardian takedown that should still launch this month. So in this video I want to go over all the recent updates and also things we can expect in the nearby future. So a like would be awesome, and let's go. We got a new cosmetic item that you can unlock if you have Amazon Prime, because then you automatically have Twitch Prime. And there's this new promotion going on for a pretty fun hat that has different colors for each Vault Hunter. And I gotta say, in-game it looks better than on that picture. So after you claim the reward on the website, and I will link to that website in the video description, it will then show up in your in-game mail, and there you want to claim it as well. And then you can just, on every character, go to a quick change station to see the hat there and equip it. And good to note is that this offer lasts until June 1st. And you also get 3 golden keys with this, but why would you need that? Because there are a ton of other ways to get legendaries now. And one of them is the Loot the Universe event, and this week we have to go to Eden 6, because every region on this planet is another source for a weapon type. There are shields and assault rifles in the Jacob's Estate region, for example, and good to note is that the cartel enemies you fight will also have a higher chance to drop that specific weapon type. So yes, totally like farm with this event on, so the enemies will just keep coming. We got shotguns and grenades in the Ember Mire, so fight the COV enemies or jabbers and you will see a lot of these drops on the ground at the end. The anvil is amazing because it immediately puts you into the action, and you can get SMGs here now, so Cutsmans, Nighthawkins can drop left and right, if you got the right weapons, of course, to take out these Sea-Lot enemies. The Clairvoyance from the second DLC that we talked about a ton on the channel does a pretty nice job against these enemies. Or the Yellow Cake rocket launcher, of course. And having the cartel enemies spawn in here makes the farm only better. In the Ferocious Canopy, it can take more time before you reach a good farm spot to kill enemies. But when you do, there will be sniper rifles dropping here. We got heavy weapons and artifacts in the Black Barrel Cellars, so one of the final areas we of course visit on this planet for the main story. And you'll immediately find the enemies here as well, of course. Something that is harder in the Floodmore Basin, but then you want to go to this part on the map and start at the Nucky Peak, and then you will reach this area with a ton of jabbers that have an increased chance to drop legendary pistols and also class mods. And of course, overall the idea is that you want to do these farms on Mayhem 10 if you are able to do it. So then all the weapons have the highest amount of damage possible. And what is interesting is that with the last update, Gearbox made it also so that all the legendary drops on Mayhem 10 are 100% anointed. So that makes farming for the right anointed combination a little easier, and also makes playing on Mayhem 10 way more rewarding. I think the legendary item drops now scale more closely to the Mayhem level you are playing online. Likely means that the chance on Mayhem 5 would be 50% to get an anointed weapon then, right? But of course, correct me if I'm wrong. At first, this change did not apply to shields, but this should be fixed now. So also when farming shields, they should have 100% chance to be anointed when you play on Mayhem 10. And you already saw the Yellow Cake in action here, and well, we want to give this weapon away in this video because it's not only amazing against regular enemies, but also against bosses like Trant. His health drops in no time on Mayhem 10 if you know the right range for this weapon. So all you need to do is leave your PlayStation Network ID in a reply under the pinned comment for a chance to win, and be sure you are a subscriber as well before you reply. And Phoenix Joker won the OPQ system from a previous video, and Dark Red Cobra the Grease Trap. And please, if you won, accept the invite from Dennis, because then we can send you the gun. Otherwise, we cannot send it. We need to be in your friend list. So it should be clear in the message, and just keep that in mind. And before we go over more updates that happened recently, let's quickly go back to that Loot the Universe for 1 second. Because Benno on Reddit made this very easy to read image with all the dedicated loot sources per region for this week. And I will link to it in the video description. And next week, on May 14th, the Loot the Universe will take us to Necra Tefeo. And that should be interesting because that planet only has 3 regions. So maybe they will take Athena's with it as well, because we did not have a Loot the Universe there yet. We will know soon enough, and by that point we likely also already know about the next Borderlands show that will include info about that new Guardian takedown. But we now also learned that this update will include a nice quality of life improvement that we've all been asking for since the launch of Mayhem 2.0. Because right now there's of course no way to tell if a weapon dropped on Mayhem 10 or lower, apart from like really comparing the damage numbers. Well, Gearbox is actually going to fix this in an upcoming patch. They say that they cannot fix it with a hotfix that of course applies when you play the game online, so we have to download a big update for it. And JoltsDude on Twitter, and I will link to his page in the video description, made a great example of what they can do and how this would actually make sense. Like remove the item score and just put the Mayhem level there instead, or the character level if you do not play on Mayhem yet. Item score sometimes like doesn't even tell you anything, and this will just be way more clear. So we will see some version of this in that next big May update. I'm not sure if they're really going for this Jolt example. We will at least be able to tell if a weapon drops from Mayhem 10 or lower after this update. And I think it will drop on May 21st or the week after that. It would at least be nice if it also added those fight for your life improvements that they've been talking about a while back, where they will be increasing the interaction radius between players, telegraphing revives to other players more clearly, and also allowing multiple players to contribute to a revive. They expected it for March, but it's still not out yet, so hopefully they will add it in this May update. We already had some updates in the meantime, and we will likely get more of these hotfixes before the big May patch will hit. Like we just got a hotfix that addresses a bug with the Galaxy Brain modifier and how it could cause Graveward's loot to drop in a location that the player could not access. And they also addressed a bug with the Mayhem mode that led to lower than intended drop rates for all the Mayhem levels. And they actually addressed this in the previous update last week as well. But the problem is that there are still quite a lot of issues with the Mayhem mode. Like opening chests on a higher Mayhem level will still not give you a weapon on the Mayhem level that you're playing on. So every item from a chest is pretty much useless. Also Aista, that can now drop the skull measure that was first exclusive to DLC 2 chest, will still drop it on a low Mayhem level. So let's hope they fix all of this in that May update as well. A majority of the feedback we are receiving are concerns that require a patch rather than a hotfix. We are hoping to share information on future improvements to Mayhem mode soon, so let's hope they can fix these issues. They totally showed during this post-launch content plan so far that they are very reactive and do fix the things that we want. So let's hope that Mayhem 2.0 is in a better state when that May update comes around, because it felt pretty rushed when it launched back in April. And when we know more about that, I'll of course let you know here on the channel. So totally subscribe to stay up to date on all the Borderlands 3 news if you haven't already. A like on the video would be super appreciated. And at the end of every Borderlands 3 video, Dennis and I play Guess the Weapon. And I'm curious if you are able to guess all these weapons as well. So let me know in the comments down below if you got both of them this time around. Let's get into it. Hey Dennis, Guardian Takedown is coming up. What will be your weapon of choice? Oh,
you can already see it here in my hands. It's gonna be the Brainstormer, because I feel like shock damage, unless they introduce some new kind of enemy, I feel like shock damage is gonna be very important, and this is one way to deal a lot of shock damage to a lot of enemies.
They will likely do like armor and shock, I feel, but yeah, in the end I think shock will still be very useful. So we're of course doing Guess the Weapon, and yeah, it's 3 to, yeah, or like I got 3 points, you got 2, so do you want to like guess first, or should I guess first?
I'll start out, because if I don't get it, I'm behind anyway. So let me see if I can turn this into a draw. And we were doing submachine guns this time around,
yeah,
right?
and I said to you, am I allowed to use this to do this weapon? And you said you were fine with it, so I'm really curious if you can guess this one, because I don't think it's possible.
I think you played yourself, because there's not a lot of weapons that I wouldn't know about, and I don't know the name of this one because I don't have it. But is this the one that you got from the VIP program?
Yeah, but yeah, does it count? I think it counts.
Because there's no way I can know the name because I don't have it. What is it called?
Vault Hunter. Or Vault Hero, sorry.
Vault Hero, okay.
Okay, it counts. It counts.
Thank you.
I thought it was going to be like, yeah. Okay, it makes sense. But yeah, this makes it more exciting, and it's 3-3 now. So where's your weapon?
Mine's over there.
Oh, okay. This is the yeah. Okay, you should not like give me any tips.
No, I messed that up last time, so I'm not gonna say anything until you decide what you think it is.
I think it's that new needle gun.
Wow, you guessed correctly.
Yes!
Yeah.
Okay, nice. In that case, I'm still ahead, 4-3, and we will continue in every other Borderlands video, of course, that will follow. So, again, let us also know how you like this in the comments down below if you guess with us. We are curious. And check out our previous Borderlands video on the Revenge of the Cartel event that is still going on. For now, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.